This is a free test designed by Cambridge University. There are 25 questions in total, but I have selected 16 questions for you to take. I will give you 10 seconds to select the answer, and then I will explain why the correct answer is correct. Let's begin. Question 1. Because so is used before adjectives and adverbs. For example, so difficult or so slowly. In this example, we also have bad, which is an adjective, therefore we need so. Also, after bad, we have that. We often use so with that. For example, he's so lazy that he never helps out with the housework. It was so dark that we could hardly see. Why the answer is not such? Because such is used before an adjective plus a noun, like such lovely pictures. Number 2. The answer is once, because this is an idiom. Once for all or once and for all. Now and for the last time, or finally or completely. Example. We have to decide once and for all whether we want to ask Dad for money. Number 3. The answer is edge. The edge of something, the outside limit of an object, a surface, or an area, or the part furthest from the center. Example. Keep away from the edge of the cliff. You can see the edge in these two pictures. Number 4. Mean is a verb which means to intend. To have a purpose in your mind when you do something. Example. I'm sorry if I offended you. I didn't mean any harm. Next. The answer is with. We end something. End is a verb with something else. To finish or stop. Example. I'd like to end with a song from my first album. Number 6. The answer is giving. First, let's focus on wipe. Wipe is a noun, an act of wiping. I'd better give the floor a quick wipe before someone slips on it. You can see wipe in this picture. Also, we have a good verb pattern here. Would you mind plus ing to make polite requests. Like, would you mind giving me a wake-up call at 7 a.m. please? So the verbs after would you mind are always in ing. Number 7. The answer is to eating. Look forward to something means to be pleased or excited that something is going to happen. The to in look forward to is a preposition, so we must follow it by a noun phrase or a verb in the ing form. So in the first example, we have a noun phrase after that. I'm looking forward to the holidays. But in the second example, we have a verb, so it must be in ing form. We are looking forward to going to Germany next month. Question 8. No matter is a short form of it doesn't matter. And we also use what, when, where, which, who, and how to refer to a situation that cannot be changed, even though we try. For example, he never answers emails no matter how many you send him. Question 9. The answer is ordered. Order is a verb to ask for something to be made, supplied, or delivered, especially in a restaurant or shop. Example, there are no shirts left in this size, but we could order one for you. Also, book is a useful verb here to make arrangements to stay in a place, eat in a restaurant, go to a theater, etc., at a particular time in the future. So the synonym is reserve. Example, have you booked a holiday this year? Question 10. The answer is about. We have this phrase, to be about to do something. About here is an adjective, which means intending. If someone is about to do something, or if something is about to happen, they will do it or it will happen very soon. Example, we were just about to leave when Jerry arrived. Work was about to start on a new factory building. Question 11. The correct answer is almost. Almost is an adverb, which means nearly, not quite. Example, almost all the passengers on the ferry were French. It's a mistake they almost always make. Question 12. The answer is little. Let's pay attention to damage here. Damage is a noun, which means harm or injury. Strong winds had caused serious damage to the roof. Recent discoveries about corruption have done serious damage to the company's reputation. So here we have two sets of collocations. The first one, little damage, minor damage, slight damage, and the opposite, extensive, heavy, serious, severe, and significant damage. Question 13. The answer is explained. Would rather is used when we want to talk about preferring one thing to another. So when the sentence has the same subject, we use the base form after that. For example, I'd rather stay at home than go out. The subject is I, same subject, therefore the verb is in base form stay. But in the second example, there are different subjects. The first one is I and the second one is you. Therefore, the verb must be used in past simple. I'd rather you stayed at home tonight. So one more time, when the subject is the same, the verb is used in base form. By base form, I mean nothing is added to the verb. No ing, no ed, nothing. But when the subject is different, like the second example, we must use the verb in past form. By past form, I mean past simple. Question 14. The answer is sides. The first one of the two or more people or groups taking part in an argument, war, etc. Example, we have finally reached an agreement acceptable to all sides. But the second meaning means an opinion held in an argument or a way of considering something. Example, there are two sides to every argument. Question 15. The correct answer is retrace. It's an idiom in English. Retrace your steps. To go back to a place in the same way that you came. Example, she walked straight past her office and then had to retrace her steps. And the last question. The correct answer is vicinity. Vicinity is a noun, the area near a particular place. We have this phrase in English, in the vicinity of. a university somewhere in the vicinity of London. There is also another good collocation in the immediate vicinity. Like, there is no hospital in the immediate vicinity. It means the area close to where these speakers are. Again, you could go to this website and take the general test. There are other tests available, as you can see, but I focused on the general one. When you complete the test, they will give you a level. They will give you a level from A1 to C2. The first group, A1 and A2, it means you are a basic user of English. The second group, B1 and B2, it means you're an independent user. And C1 and C2, you're an advanced learner. You're a proficient user of language. If we translate these into IELTS band scores, we will have these categories. This chart is called CEFR. If you want to know more about this, you could use the link in the description and read more about that.